for you, huh?
Yeah.
A Critics' Choice Award that you actually got invited to, or
We got invited to it. We were nominated and we won.
You won.
Nominated and won.
We won.
What was?
Well, wait, no, you don't win a
spoken.
Critics' Choice Award. You become the Critics' Choice. That's how they announce it. They say, and the Critics' Choice is
what's the
Welcome to
category?
Wrexham. Best documentary. Best sports documentary
Best sports
in
documentary
the world.
Is it in the world?
I don't know. I'll say there was a few that were not English language, so maybe there was one French one. There was one that was mostly in Russian, but that was made by an English-speaking filmmaker.
Well, then there you go. There's your answer.
One is made by Peter Jackson. He's not an American.
No, he's not.
You beat Peter Jackson.
No, his movie was more about sport. Was about music. He did the Beatles documentary, which was terrific.
The Beatles being
A band.
Yep.
Originally from Liverpool. They hit the scene in the 60s, changed the world of music.
You know what? Actually, yes. Okay. I have heard of them. Yeah. No. You know what I realized, guys? I accidentally did not grab a cut that mug. I grabbed a David Hornsby original.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, that's fun.
That's a great
David
one.
Hornsby original.
Yeah.
Yes, David Hornsby drew this.
Image.
That's Kanye there,
Yeah.
riding on the back of that.
Prescient.
Very prescient. Yeah, because he did this. This was basically just like a summary of 2020.
Yes.
2021.
I mean, this is really, it's really
He's
an
a
impressive.
talented artist.
He's very talented.
He's also very territorial of his coffee mugs. There was a big mug for a while in the Mythic Quest offices that just said in bold letters, "This mug belongs to David Hornsby."
Now, what is that? Is that because he doesn't like other people's lips touching the things that, you know what I mean? Like, is it that? Is it like a cleanliness
It might be
thing?
that it's like that's his favorite mug to drink out of, and it's like I never.
Somebody grabs
I
it.
brought it because I like to drink my coffee out of it so much, and someone else keeps using it.
Yeah.
It was
He
a
doesn't drink
slightly
coffee,
larger size, so maybe he's very particular about the size of mug.
I feel like I ever see him drinking anything out of a mug.
though. No. What would he be drinking out of a mug? He's not a coffee drinker, right? He's drinking tea.
He does drink tea.
That feels very...
He's been drinking energy drinks recently.
I know.
The Rock's energy.
He's been drinking the Rock's energy drinks. He sees the Rock and he's like, that's what I aspire to. And, clearly, based on how he has transformed, he's not doing much towards that.
David is always one energy drink away from being the Rock. So
I wish you'd stuck with just one energy. He is always one energy away
He
from
does seem petrified.
very good.
I don't know. Hey, listen, we've been breaking stories all day. So.
Yeah, I'm going to say I feel guilty. I do feel guilty. I'm going to admit that to you guys and to the audience.
Good. So why don't you tell the audience what you did to us?
I've been out of the writer's room for a full day and a half.
2 days, effectively.
Effectively 2 days. What time did you guys get in there today? 10?
I was there by 8:30 in the morning.
Oh, all right. So yeah, almost a full day. So I've missed almost 2 days. I had to do some traveling for this other show that I do. So I want to say that first off, I appreciate you all for putting in the work. And all I can do is promise you that when I get back in there, I'm going to do my best.
You know what the worst part is? I didn't even notice you were gone.
Was it more pleasurable, or was it just sort of
Smoother, just sort of like everything just felt easier, smoother, less volatile.
Ideas were better.
Ideas were better.
You didn't have that thing constantly where it's a terrible idea and you have to like redirect the brain.
Right, and the side that it's coming from gets tense.
somebody putting in the no buts?
Yeah.
No, very untrue, very untrue. It's always great to have you guys.
You know what it's like. You know what it's like being in that room.
It's hard, yeah.
Well, and I think we're just getting warmed up too, right? We're getting warmed up. It takes a second,
First
right?
story is always the hardest.
Now,
First
did you
story.
guys break a story? That was the plan you were going to work on. You did.
We are mid-story.
We're
Amazing.
We have a very loose break that I think it'd be great to have fresh eyes on.
Exciting.
To dig in and flesh out some more, but
I mean,
We
look,
do have a lot of good ideas. We haven't really talked about the room yet on the podcast.
Yeah.
For this most recent season, we have a lot of note cards up there, a lot of really great ideas.
True. More than I thought we were going to have,
Yeah.
if I'm honest. I went home after that first day, or maybe it was after the second day, the bus just kind of blue skying, and I told Jill, I was like, I think we've got some really good ideas this
I
year.
feel like we felt fresh this year because it's been a minute since we've all been in the room. So
Is that what it was?
maybe.
Yeah, a little fresher.
It's a nice room. Like the room itself is like a big old window, and it feels like.
This episode, Extreme Home Makeover. Oh my God.
Well,
This episode is crazy.
It's
this
insane.
episode is crazy.
Crazy.
Shall I set us up with some information
Yeah,
structure? Okay. Season 4, episode 12, The Gang Gets Extreme Home Makeover Edition, aired on November 13th, 2008, was written by Charlie, Glenn, and David, and directed by Fred Savage. In this episode, the gang realizes they must help others to achieve their dreams, so they redecorate a poor family's home a la Extreme Makeover Home Edition. The only problem is that the family is not in on the plan.
Yeah, we neglected to tell. But that's part of the
tell that.
surprise, isn't it? That's part of the excitement of it. It's being thrust into a situation where you're like, we're gonna
Wasn't
change.
that the thing with the show that people were surprised?
Yes.
They didn't
I
know
can't
they were
remember.
going to get a home renovation, and then they surprised these families by basically like doing it. Like they,
With a lot of
they would,
energy.
like,
But
they
take
didn't
someone
say-
out of town, be like, "Hey, you're gonna go visit your grandma," and they come back and they're like, "Look at your new home." Or,
Yeah, your kids
They
say
didn't know at all. I think they
must have
saw
known.
The
it.
difference is they don't surprise them in the middle of the night by screaming and dragging them from the
Trash bags
bed.
everywhere.
Nice family.
Wake up, my brown friend! It's time to change your life! Yeah! Is that inspirational music? What is that? Yeah, inspirational. All right, that's cool, I guess. Come here, you little rat.
The way that was shot was like insane.
Yeah, we shot it at a high frame rate.
High frame rate.
Did the idea come out of the idea of instead of a home makeover, you're doing a home invasion? Like, because that's what it felt like. That scene felt like a home invasion, like a scary home invasion.
It was based on the idea of wanting to do an extreme home makeover episode, but doing it in the most wrong and extreme possible way, like really latching onto the extreme aspect of it.
That would be a slower frame rate, right? To create that steppy feel.
No. You have to shoot it at higher frame rates. Oh, I see what you're saying.
Sarah.
Shit. We did whatever Steven Spielberg did when he shot on the beaches of Normandy.
Yeah.
Hi. Our DP, everybody.
This is our DP, Sarah.
So like the shutter goes smaller, so less light comes in, so you don't get like this sort of natural movement. That's what makes it. That effect you're talking about, the beaches in Normandy.
Yeah.
Great.
Okay.
Thank
cool.
you.
Good to know.
Sarah.
Now, here's what I was trying to remember watching it. Now I remember some of this was done in Philly, in Kensington.
Yeah.
Yes.
Some of it was done in LA.
Yep.
But the interior of the house that we're like wrecking and breaking
LA.
LA.
was a set.
That was a set.
It's a set. Yeah. It was on a stage.
Yeah.
It was on a stage. Where was that? Oh, then we were in Culver City.
One in,
Culver City.
Culver City.
Yeah.
Right.
And we definitely didn't bring the family to Philadelphia. So like that final reveal shot is two different.
Yeah.
Oh, we shot one side in LA and the other.
Yep. It was easier to get a matching bus.
That's a good.
Then to bring the family there.
Yes.
Yeah, because we gotta pay for a hotel room. But it's so funny. Like there are parts of this episode that are a little clunky, like the vision board explanation of why we're doing what we're doing, and then there are parts that are just so damn funny because they're just basic jokes about you wearing shorts.
Well, that's
that
the
are,
funniest sequence and one of the funniest scenes I think in the history of the show.
I do remember us talking about that. Obviously, that was a choice we made in the writers' room. That was not an improvised scene, although there is improvisation happening in the take. But how did
I think we were just laughing about the funny difference between
cutoffs and
that look of the cutoff shorts and the
versus that?
boots and
Yeah.
jean shorts.
Yeah, but the whole like widespread thing, like what was that based on the fact that did I do something like that in the room and we were like, oh, we should do that on the show? Like what? I don't remember
You were
how
trying
that.
to justify why you were wearing them? I don't know. I really don't know.
My favorite is that you say you can't go lower because of your shorts and your hips.
And your hips.
And your
It's
hips,
like,
but
you gotta.
yeah, but the point is your shorts aren't preventing you from doing what you need to
It's
do.
really funny, right? So that whole scene is just about the shorts. Does something else happen?
Well, it's about the tool belt initially, I think.
The tool belt gets stolen.
You guys want to watch it?
No, but it's before
Yeah, I'd
that.
like to watch it again.
Yeah, sure. But it's us putting on the tool belt and then and me explaining the tool belt and then you saying like that's great, but I want to talk about these shorts.
All right, let me ask you a question then. How come you have that awesome fray on your shorts?
Well, that, sir, is because you purchased blue jean shorts.
Like,
whereas
can
I
you stop it for a
purchased blue
second?
jeans and cut.
So this is where it all works. Okay. But now the whole scene is not even about jean shorts or home makeovers. It's about Dennis
Yes.
wanting to teach Charlie something.
Right.
And to be helpful.
Yeah.
And because you've got information that you were hoping to God he asked you about because you want to share this information with him.
Well, you learn things throughout the course of your life, right? You take in certain lessons, you have certain experiences where you build upon them, hopefully to build a better life for yourself. And I've built a better life for myself when it comes to shorts because of the knowledge that I have about the difference between cutting them yourself versus buying them. And, and I'm excited to share that with my friend who also stands to now have a better life.
So this is a great example of an actor. The scene is so stupid. The joke is so stupid, but it's an actor making a choice that's very specific, right? Where you're saying, okay, in my head, the way I'm going to perform this is I was hoping he would ask me this, so that I can deliver this information in a way that really informs him, so that he can enjoy this as well.
Yeah, probably.
Which I do wind up doing a few seasons later.
Yes.
In the pool.
in the pool.
Yeah.
Which is that Dennis told me about the shorts, and
Yeah.
that's why I have
Yeah.
that.
Oh, that's right.
That's
we
how you
did-
can
we
go
brought
so
that
low.
back.
Why did you cut them so hot?
Right,
Way
well,
higher than mine.
I thought you might ask that. See, it limits restriction of leg movement.
Anticipated
Oh, you're
this.
gonna get more work done because you got more
Exactly.
legs. Well, you sure
Let me
do.
do a little demonstration on you. Take the tool belt off for a second. Let me
You filling in the gap.
Let's get a demo.
take a wide stance. Take the widest stance that you possibly can when you sit
Okay,
down.
leg movement. This is,
wide as you
if
can.
I'm going wide and I'm being honest with you, I'm maxing out about here.
That's not bad. But check this out.
You don't want to make him feel bad.
Go, go. Oh!
Yeah.
Any more?
That's it, but that's pretty wide, right?
That is good. You know, and you're not getting any
That's
high
it.
ride.
Getting a high
That's
ride,
better.
but the shorts aren't preventing me from doing what I need to do.
Okay, can you pause it again?
Why do you do
now? Okay, now
I do remember talking
you're
about
getting
this.
the. Charlie saying you're not getting the high ride. He said, "No, I'm getting a high ride."
Yeah.
Now, and Charlie's laughing, like here. He's
Yeah, right, yeah, yes.
How could I not?
Right, right.
He's laughing.
But the character could be too.
Yeah. Now, why? What is that movement? Why are you doing that?
Well, because when we were shooting it,
Little David Prentice.
yeah. I don't think I did that on purpose, but I do remember when we were shooting it, we were like, something about having just weird arm movements just made it funnier. Just like having a kind of a strange posture and doing strange things with my arms. So I think we were just kind of experimenting with
This
how
is
to
why
put a hat on
comedy
a
is
hat.
so hard to write because you pass over very quickly that you need to be able to take a wider stance to work more efficiently, which doesn't make sense, but it doesn't matter because you just blow past it and like get to the
That's what I'm
point
curious.
that.
I can't remember. Is there something in this that happens
I could
in
explain
the
it.
scene that moves the story forward or not? I can't
Well, let's
remember.
find out.
And that's the shorts.
That's exactly
I
right,
doubt
man.
it.
You see, your shorts, they're holding you back, man. Well, that and your hips. But I gotta tell you, the shorts aren't helping.
This is really all good shit. This
Oh,
is
sorry.
like
This
gold.
is.
So what are you gonna do next?
It's the discovery that
Oh, this is what we're gonna do next. Charlie, grab me that propane torch. I'm gonna burn the wall.
You know what? Let's go at it with the wrecking ball for a little while.
Really?
It'll be more extreme and kind of awesome.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So the scene is about establishing that he has a
Frank's
propane
birthday.
torch, and that he's going to try these controlled burns, and
well, yeah.
and
Frank's
Frank's
recording. all
recording.
of
which is and that Frank's recording it, which is leading towards that the house is going to burn down. But we have a little bit of a runner that we thought in the writers' room about these jean shorts, and it winds up becoming the entire scene.
The whole scene, and then it comes back at the end because you're like, well, how are we going to end the scene? Well, just go back to
Oh, yeah.
Well, but also like the ridiculousness of that conversation. Yeah.
When you do it the second time, Charlie just
Go
says,
low.
That's pretty. You're saying it's bad.
It's like the way your body's
Now,
kind of
I
can we
know,
pull
it's
that
just weird.
screenshot up again, Meg? I'd like to see now. How old are you here? Probably
2008, so 32.
32. Now, how low can you go now? Can we see? Can we just
well,
try?
you
it?
have
Well,
to
he's
cut the
constricted.
jeans.
These jeans are a little tight for that.
Pop them off.
You got any of
Do a
those
separate thing where you
Vioris?
Got any of those
Where-
Fiore shorts?
you pop on some
Let's
Fioris
check them
and
all.
and then you send us a video later.
Yeah, we'll pop it in the podcast. See how
All right,
it
maybe
goes.
I'll Jill shoot a video.
It's been 14 years since we shot the Extreme Home Makeover episode back in 2008, and we're gonna see how low I can go 14 years later, because I haven't tested it in a really long time. I have no idea, but I got something better than cut off jean shorts today. I got my Bioris on, so these are not gonna restrict me from doing what I need to do. All right. So here we go. Let's see how low we can go. I don't think I can go any lower than that, otherwise I think I'm seriously gonna hurt myself. But that's pretty low. That's pretty low.
It's weird because I'm not flexible, but I've always been flexible that way. I mean, not flexible by some people's standards, but by normal
You can
standards.
go lower.
That's pretty damn
I can't go
flexible,
lower.
man.
I don't think I
I've
can go
never
lower
been
than
able to
that.
go
Pretty
that
flexible.
Yeah.
So my takeaway from this episode is like, some of it works, some of it doesn't, but that scene was perfection.
Kind of had like a couple of iconic moments, and that kind of makes up for all the rest of it.
Yeah.
I don't.
Even Dee's broken Spanish is very funny.
Yeah.
Somebody took a couple years of Spanish in high school.
Oh,
so
okay.
I'm
You
gonna
remember
dust
it?
off the cobwebs
Good.
and see if I can fire off.
All right, tell them to relax first off because they look a little tense.
Okay.
And then we're gonna build them a new house and a new life, just like on Extreme Makeover on TV.
Okay. Juarez's, sea fácil. Su casa es no más. Su vida es no más. Somos extremos. Como la televisión. See? See?
See, they get it.
I still
They
got
get
it.
it. Somos.
Yeah, extremos. Yeah, America.
Noticed in my rewatch that Retta is in this episode.
Retta, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, and
How did you guys know her?
I mean,
I don't think we
no,
did.
I think she probably auditioned.
think
you know,
that it just
for-
auditioned.
Parks and Rec.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She auditioned and was really funny. We hired her and she was really funny. in the
Yeah,
episode.
like someone that talented comes in and they're probably early. I'm assuming it's pretty early in her career. And, it's like a no-brainer. You're like, okay, she makes the scene way better.
Yeah.
Even her
Staring at
looks
you.
to us as we're discussing.
funny.
That's why we put so many of them in.
Yeah.
Because her looks were great.
Holding on you guys. And then she watches you clearly force somebody into opening a credit card and does it anyway. It's like, it's not her problem.
It's not. It's not. Yeah.
I think a lot of this had to do with us watching Apocalypto and loving it because it's a great movie, but then talking about it and talking about very specifically that ending, the ending to the movie. And we were in the writer's room and we were like, that's a pretty fucked up ending. And then there was a lot of back and forth as to what
there were
that
different
meaning.
interpretations,
There was different
right?
interpretations. There was the right one and the wrong one.
Well, you had the interpretation that it was what's in the episode, right?
Yeah.
That it's
Sorry,
like
which I
Can you
believe.
fill me in on? I never watched it.
Oh.
What? Apocalypto. Can you
It's
spoil
fantastic.
it?
I never watched it either.
Oh, it's so good.
But what's the end? That
Well, after the main character, right, goes through the most harrowing experience, there's a shot of like these Spanish ships coming and
Just to set it up even more, the whole movie is about how this one guy is about to be sacrificed. There was like sacrificing slaves to the sun god. And then he was just about to be sacrificed. And there was an eclipse. And people thought that it was like God speaking to them. Anyway, he escaped and he spends the whole movie trying to escape from his captors who are just trying to execute him. And it's really just like riveting the entire thing. But then the final shot is he like finally escapes and he gets to the edge of this cliff and he looks out and you see these European ships coming in. So there's two interpretations, which
Oh, I see.
I think the other one's valid, but I don't think it's true knowing what we know about Mel Gibson.
my
Right.
my initial takeaway seeing that was like, oh, the death and destruction is still coming.
the
And
bigger
that-
danger, is
bigger
yet
and
to-
more
yeah.
danger, and you are living in apocalypto existence.
Which is that's valid. That's fair. Like, and I remember you saying that. And I was like, oh right, that's not the way I interpreted it, but that'd be interesting. I think based on Mel and Mel's beliefs and
And your long friendship with him,
and yeah, of
how
course, like
close
sitting
you
down
guys
with Mel and
are.
having coffee and discussing it.
Yeah.
But he's like a staunch Catholic, hardcore Catholic, and believes in. And if I recall correctly, we'll have to look at that final shot. But I think those ships had like crosses on them. I believe. If not, the implication is there that they brought Christianity to that part of the world and colonized that region and wiped out most of the culture and people. And I believe what the movie was saying was, don't worry, everybody, it's all about to get better.
But there's gonna have to be some shit that goes down first.
A lot of you are gonna,
perish.
A lot of you are gonna.
We're gonna teach you a religion that doesn't sacrifice people. But in order to make sure that you learn it, we have to kill lots of
We're
people.
gonna have to slaughter the ones who get in our way.
Directly and indirectly with disease. The Always Sunny podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp.
Hello, Charlie Day here, local podcaster and brain enthusiast. Is your brain making too much noise all the time?
In this episode, Mac envisions impregnating Danica Patrick while getting drunk in the Sahara Desert on a dune buggy.
On a dune buggy.
On a dune buggy.
But he's
Very,
lying to
very
himself because there's
specific.
a lot of naked dudes on that vision board too.
Are there?
Are there?
Yeah, there's buff dudes and
Oh, well, that's how he envisioned. All right. At the time, that was how he was envisioning himself.
So, yeah.
He's the buff dude in that scenario.
yeah.
But, upon further reflection, it could very well be what he aspires to.
Well,
I'm looking up Danica Patrick. Where is she known from? Where did
She's a race car driver.
Drives cars
Oh.
very fast.
What's she up
that's
to
what-
these days? I don't pay attention to sports.
Now, why is it you can do people race cars until they're very, very old, or is that something like any other sport where you're like, well, after a certain age?
Well, I mean, once
yeah.
when your reflexes start to slow down, I think it becomes more difficult to compete at a certain level. But yeah, do they have like a senior tour?
Probably do.
Yeah, seems pretty dangerous. But I think they go as long as they can. But there's a reason why, I believe, my dad was an airline pilot, and he, I believe, at the time they had to retire by 60. They couldn't work past the age of 60. But now I think they've increased it to 65. I think they pushed it to 65 now, which seems right. Because if you can pass
People
the
are
physical and
living longer, healthier lives now. Yeah.
right.
Depends on the individual.
She competed at the 2018 Daytona 500 and the Indianapolis 500 before officially retiring in 2018. So she did drive
At the
for-
tender age of
Well, now she is 40, so I guess she was 36 then.
That's the thing. Why can't you keep driving at 40?
Do you guys have weird experiences in your 40s where like certain that a thing we were in Joshua Tree this weekend, and we were climbing rocks and doing that whole thing, and I had a couple of moments where I just was like I shouldn't be doing this, and when I was younger, I mean, I was a monkey. I would climb anything. Like I was fearless and always felt very coordinated and had good like peripheral vision, and it was not hard for me to sort of navigate very, uneven terrain or whatever. I was on some of these rocks, and I was like, I'm gonna fall. I'm gonna kill myself. I'm gonna die if I'm, you know what I mean? And I was like, and I was like, shit. I don't want to get to that place where I feel like
It's just like that's biochemical, man. It's just your body being like,
nah.
I don't want to be on slippery rocks at any age.
They're not slippery. That's the thing
No,
about the
they're
rocks
very
in
dry.
Joshua Tree. They're extremely grippy. I don't know if you've done much climbing in Joshua Tree, but
well, let me ask you this: did you wear a helmet, and did you have your kids wear a helmet?
no.
Yeah. So this is what killed.
I didn't see
I don't know what to
anybody
do
wearing it.
here.
I didn't see
I know.
anybody
I know,
wearing
but
it.
you got. I know.
What kind of climbing are you talking about? You just go up like a little pile of rocks?
No,
Or
you're scrambling up some
cliff face?
serious.
Wow. I mean, we weren't quite doing that, but we were in situations where, this is what I said to Jill. I actually don't think, and I'm not totally sure about this, but what it actually felt to me like as I was getting dizzy, but I don't think it was actually because I was worried about myself falling. It was because I didn't feel like I could fully concentrate on what I was doing because I was afraid my kids were going to fall.
Yeah.
And that was making me like disoriented and dizzy because I was like so scared that like my kids were going to slip. And I wouldn't even think, and we, so,
And
the
they
stupid
say like
thing is,
number one, wear a goddamn helmet. Like how many like head injuries?
you're so right. And we had helmets too because we had the
But
kids.
okay, this is a true parenting concern, and I would love to hear what the creeps and listeners think about this, because I don't know what the answer is. Because I don't know if I did the right thing or the wrong thing. My kid Axel was super. We went to Joshua Tree, and he just like fell in love. He, for whatever reason, just took to scrambling up those rocks.
Yeah, my
he
kids
found a
do
group
too.
of kids, and they just love it, and it's so fun. And so he did it this whole first day, and he had an absolute blast. And I went to bed, and I was texting with a friend of mine who's a rock climber, like a legit rock climber. And I just said I had the most amazing time with my kid. And he's like, did he wear a helmet? And I said, no. He said, absolutely do not let him do that again without wearing a helmet, because there's so many head injuries. It's so common, and people die all the time. So the next day, I got him a helmet, and I was like, put on the helmet. He's like, I'm not wearing the helmet. I'm not wearing the helmet. I'm like, dude, you have to wear the helmet. I'm not letting you climb up that rock unless you wear that helmet. Puts on the helmet, goes up with a bunch of kids who weren't wearing helmets, because I can't control the kids. And I don't know what was said, or even if anything was said, but he was like humiliated by the whole thing.
Yeah.
Hasn't gone back since. Won't do it. He's just like, I won't do it. I won't do it. And I get it.
Yeah, totally.
So what do you do?
You don't want to be the one nerd in the helmet,
No,
right?
I get it too. Like, I rode my bike.
Don't have kids. That's one answer.
Yeah.
That's one answer. That's fair.
That's good. Good for
That's
the
fair.
planet.
Yeah.
I mean, I rode my bike everywhere. Never.
As a kid, no.
Gotta wear a helmet.
You should wear a helmet.
Caitlin almost died when she was a kid.
Oh, yeah?
In a bike accident.
I know, but if you die, you die.
Yeah.
That's callous.
Well, that's easy. No, but if you die, you die. That's on you. Like,
Right.
you
Your
can make,
kid
but
dies.
it's your kid. Yeah.
That's
Yeah, no, it's
Looking uncool in front of your friends is worse than death when
Agreed.
you're that age.
Agreed.
So I
And
think
so
that,
they shouldn't be responsible for it. But as a parent, how do you weigh those things? Well, do I want my kid to not look cool, or do I want him to live? Well, the answer is I want him to live. But now I've taken away his passion for something.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think the problem is, like, I mean, when you go snowboarding or skiing or whatever, 90% of the people are wearing
Now,
helmets.
Now it's hit critical mass.
Yes,
because so many people were fucking dying.
Yeah. Well,
in popular culture.
Yes.
you just keep bringing him back. I'm like, nope, we're going back to the place that you really enjoyed.
And you're climbing,
And
bitch.
you're climbing, and you're wearing a helmet.
You're climbing, nerd.
You're climbing with your nerd helmet on.
That's right.
And if someone calls you a nerd, you know what you do? You beat the shit out of
No,
them.
you know what? Push them down the rock, and they're not wearing a helmet. So she has a hearty laugh.
Mara may have done that. Mara may have done that.
I did that.
I did that once.
It worked.
You know,
That
just
bitch
have
never
just
said anything.
maybe you can have him lean into it, wear like a full Evil Knievel outfit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it actually looks cool. So it looks like he's doing it on
And a
purpose.
cape?
Yeah, with a fucking cape. Oh, a cape?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I have a question for you. Are you exhibiting a similar behavior to him of always wearing protective gear when you do dangerous things?
I did. I wore a helmet, like, to show solidarity, and then he was like, "Well, now my dad's a dork too."
Oh, that's
And I was like, "Dude, trust me, I'm not a dork. Ask anybody here. Ask anybody here." He's like, "Dad, you're the fucking worst." I'm like, yeah, I know.
Dad, you're the fucking worst.
He didn't say that, but I inferred it. They didn't have a problem we took them snowboarding and skiing, no problem, because everybody else was wearing
Because that's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
You know, if everybody at Joshua Tree was climbing rocks and wearing helmets, it wouldn't be an issue, would it? But you're absolutely right. I mean, not a single person that I saw scrambling rocks was wearing a helmet. So it didn't even occur to me. I don't know why.
Did you guys do any, Charlie, you said you rode bikes without helmets. Did you do any extreme things when you were younger that looking back on it, it's like, how did I ever survive that thing?
yeah.
So many stupid
Tons.
things. Like,
Tons.
Yeah, but it was a different time.
Climbing. It was like
more
more
dangerous.
waterfalls and
Yeah.
just dumb,
Oh, yeah.
with no, like barefoot. No, definitely no helmet. Yeah, just like dumb shit, like on acid.
Yeah.
Yeah,
a
it's
lot
just
of doing a lot of stupid things.
stupid
while
stuff.
inebriated and-
Stupid.
yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever done any home renovation stuff? Have you swung a sledgehammer and
Oh, yeah.
knocked down a wall?
Dude,
Have you ever
speaking of
done
stupid,
that?
like my buddy's dad used to have these like apartments in Newport, Rhode Island, and he gave me a job one summer repainting them. And this guy puts a ladder up 3 stories high, right? So there's first floor, second floor, third floor. He ties the ladder to like fire escape. And he's like this guy, Mr. Merkel. He's like a drill sergeant in the army, like a principal, awesome guy, love him, great family. They're like, all right, Charlie, you're gonna go up that ladder and just scrape the paint off the top of the roof. Now, to get to the top of the roof, you had to stand at the top of the ladder on one toe. So he was one toe with his body pressed against a building 3 stories up. We weren't wearing fucking helmets. Just scraping away, just scraping paint off this
I
roof.
imagine also not wearing masks or eye.
No,
gear,
just
so
all
that
the
that
dust and
just
paint.
sitting there
Yeah,
in
just
your
breathing
lap.
it in.
What happens if you fall? He's like, grab the ladder, because the ladder will fall, but then it'll hit the fire escape and you won't go all the way to the ground.
You got it, Mr. Merkel. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, Mr. Merkel.
I Juarez that house. I mean, it was the worst paint job ever. I think he had to redo it.
Oh my
It was a
God.
good, like,
So you
running
risk
joke.
your life for no reason at all then.
Yeah, you risk it for
Job,
like
he
20
gave me a
bucks.
job. He's a classy, you know, classy guy, you know. It's a good $4 an hour, whatever it was. But like,
I mean, my buddy Mark Dunlap and I had a job once when we were 18 years old, working at a factory and like doing stuff we had no business doing. Like I didn't have any kind of a license. I don't know if you need. Maybe do you need a license to drive a forklift? Any kind of
In
a
Alabama? I doubt it.
No, I mean,
I mean,
That's a
I
good
don't
point.
know. But
right.
seems like you guys just did whatever the fuck you wanted down there.
Well, we
And
sure as hell
continue to
did.
do so, yeah.
You know what? Because there's a lot of freedom down there.
Yeah.
A lot of fucking freedom down there. But yeah, driving forklifts and working with like toxic materials and like having to wear like gas masks to because there was all kinds of toxic dust and shit. Like so many areas that were like flammable. We were fixing machines that we didn't even know what they were or how to fix them. I was like, what is this? And getting paid $5.25 an hour. I remember. I remember because it was $1 over minimum wage, which at the time was $4.25, at least in Alabama it was. I think that was the federal minimum wage.
I wish I knew how to do more of it. Like, one of my
Handyman stuff.
Yeah, one of my closest friends, Chris, like has a construction company in Rhode Island and Pettit Construction. If you want a good job done in Rhode Island, but like, he knows how to like go ahead and build a deck or an entire house or redo your kitchen. Like, what an awesome thing to
But also like
know how to do.
The balls on the characters of Dennis and Charlie to think they can just renovate a home and they don't know shit. They don't know anything about what they're doing. They just start breaking the place and then like
Wait, so the show was called, the original show was called Extreme Makeover.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a show where they would take somebody and carve them up and give them plastic surgery and whatnot.
No,
That was the swan. You're thinking of the swan.
Oh, well, that's...
They turn you from an ugly duckling into a swan via plastic surgery.
Amazing.
Also, looking up Extreme Makeover depicts ordinary men and women undergoing extreme makeovers involving plastic surgery, exercise regimens, hairdressing.
Otherwise, it ain't
wardrobe.
extreme. If it's just a little makeup and hairspray, that's not
just a makeover.
Added a home element to it.
And then they just, they did the home makeover thing.
And it's hard to explain to anybody who would say, watch this episode now, a young person watching this episode now, that would think, they're talking about some show that exists, or maybe they're making it up or whatever. When those kinds of shows would come out, they would be smash hits, and you couldn't get away from them. They would be... There wasn't as many channels. There was no streaming. It was, and if there was a hit on ABC, it was massive. And that guy Ty Pennington, like you would see him at like a TV events, and he would be the star that was there. And you would think, well, this guy's career is just like never gonna. He's gonna be Ty Pennington for the rest of his life, and he is.
Well, he is going to be Ty Pennington for the rest of his life.
I was talking about that with the show where it was like you took someone's like 1-story, 1-bedroom house and turned it into a 5-bedroom story house. Are they going to have to pay a crazy new tax bracket because the house is valued at a different? Like, how's that work? How's money work?
No, you're still
how
paying
do taxes and money work? You want to know shit?
I do remember watching that show and thinking it was so funny how they would, they'd be talking to the kid, and the kid would be like, what are you into? What's little Johnny into? Oh, he really likes sharks. Oh, sharks. Okay. And then, they would do the makeover, and the house would be, classy for the most part. And then you'd go in the kids' room, and it was just like, and it's a shark bed, and there's shark posters everywhere, and there's a fish, and there's a a giant poster of sharks. And it was just like, oh, okay. I mean, he said he liked sharks. He didn't think he...
Yeah. He's 10, and in like 5 years he's gonna be 15, and we're gonna have to relive all this
redo all this shit.
In like 5 minutes, he's going to be on to something else.
Yeah,
It's like kids are
Right.
It's like,
Yeah. He made the whole thing about sharks. You know, my kid's sleeping in a shark's mouth. He wants to do that. Like, so that was, and we weren't able to
Well, that's
quite
what the
dig into.
taco bed was
but that
supposed to be, but it wound up.
Yeah.
So I know somebody that I won't say his name because it'll betray his trust, but we all know him. And he worked in some of these kinds of shows, and he said the biggest moment, the whole episode is based on the reveal. The whole episode is based on the reveal. So no matter what happens, if you don't get the right reveal, you don't have a show. So knowing that, the producers would do all sorts of fucked up things. They wanted people to cry, really, more than anything. So they would keep them awake. Like, they would purposefully, keep them awake for 48 hours.
48 hours?
To make them emotionally unstable, which I guess would work. But they would hide it. Like, they would put them in a hotel and they'd be like, you're going to this party and then we're going to go out and here's a bunch of alcohol. And then they would come and wake them up at in the middle of the night and be like, we got to do this one thing. And then go back and then wake them up, really fuck with them. And then when they showed up, they would be emotionally drained, and then they would have the reveal. And
so not that different from what we do on the show, except at the end of the day, they've got a nice house instead of a burned down pile of
we were
rubble.
satirizing lots of things in this episode, I believe, including those shows.
There's a good bit in this episode that I'd like to bring up too, where Dennis is comforting Charlie, and you do a little bit of do you remember that part where you're massaging?
I'm
his-
upset about Sears.
Yeah, and you start massaging his shoulders, and then you give him a nice
A little
from
hug at the end, yeah.
behind.
Yeah.
It's a sweet little moment.
Just breathe for me. Feel what I'm doing.
Yeah, dude, I'm sorry, bro, but I get very passionate about Sears.
No,
I mean, extreme homemade. I mean, what?
Helping people.
Helping people.
Don't stop.
I do actually remember I was doing the massage thing and I gave you the hug and I was like, this is nice. It's like you were very warm and a good size, good hugging size.
Yeah, the whole thing with that was the episodes were always about Sears. It was so much about Sears.
Yeah.
Right.
It was about them. Yeah, about the
So
generosity.
you're kind of helping the family, but really it's just one long commercial for Sears.
Yeah.
But I love that you also say Sears doesn't get anything out of it at some point. Fundamentally misunderstanding why they mention it all the time.
I feel like that was at the very beginning where we're like, wow, they're just putting this advertising right in the middle of the content, which of course now is just all that anything is. Speaking of, let's go to commercial.
Guys, we're supported by Athletic Greens and their delicious green powder AG1.
A product I use literally every day.
Wait, are you using it?
And if you...
So you can get started for as low as $9 a month. To get started and to get your free gifts with purchase, go to fightcamp.com/sunny. That's fightcamp.com/sunny.
You guys believe in manifesting? Do you think that there's anything to the secret? And if you...
I do.
Yeah?
I do.
But I don't think it's as woo-woo as I think the general public
Yeah.
would.
I think
it's another way of just saying having a goal.
Yeah.
Having a goal and positive thoughts.
And positive thought.
Yeah, I
being
think it
optimistic.
affects it. I think people pick up on your energy, and I think when you put something out into the world, you're putting a certain energy out, and people pick up on it. It affects how you approach your work. It affects how you approach your goals. And I think so. I think there's probably some very tangible science behind it, as opposed to it just being totally woo. But I feel like manifesting things absolutely works. I mean,
I tried to get on your show for 8 years. It took me of manifesting that.
Did you?
then I
You did it.
I did it well. The direct link was that I talked about it all the time, and I talked about it to somebody who was on your show, who then went and was like, this chick's obsessed with you. Like, why don't you guys interview her? That was Scott Martyr. But I wrote my spec script that got me my first job was a Sunny spec, so I was manifesting it.
Have I read that spec?
Oh God, no! You're not going to either. No. Nope.
What if we produced it?
No.
Yeah, what if we use it this season?
What if I were to tell you, we got nothing. So
What if we did an entire season of television where we just did people's spec scripts that they sent in?
Finally, the bar rescue episode.
The bar rescue episode is a lock.
I think what we've learned today is don't do a podcast at the end of the day after breaking stories.
It's tough on the energy, but I don't know. There's some good content in there, some interesting conversation.
Look, I mean, you know, if people want to see the real us, every once in a while they're going to get a podcast that was filmed at the end of the day, and the energy is going to be maybe slightly different, and you know, maybe that's.
We didn't complain.
No,
I'm on a different time zone. I'm 3 hours. It's 3 hours later, but I haven't really.
You
mentioned
adjusted
that.
to the time zone that quickly? You weren't gone that long.
No, but I did get up early, and I was on a 6-hour flight. But I'm not complaining. It's all good.
No.
I got a great life. Get to spend it with my friends. You know.
Well, we've established if you want to complain, you can.
Yeah, that's right. I don't really feel like complaining. I feel very happy. I feel very fortunate.
No, I feel good too.
Megan,
You know, it's like,
do you feel like overall you walk around life with a general sense of gratitude?
I try to, yeah.
So you aspire to that. You don't feel like that's your default, but you aspire to.
I think I'm happy all the time about everything, but
No,
I
not happy.
definitely-
Not happy.
Yeah, with
Grateful.
gratitude, yes. But you know, you only really like appreciate how good you have it when stuff starts going like badly. So, like during the pandemic and stuff, I found a lot more gratitude about my life and just
Same.
I would say I found more gratitude about my non-work life, which I'd always thought sucked. I always have tons of gratitude for my work life because I get to do really fun things and that's cool. But then I was like, you know, it's great just like going for a walk or like just hanging out with some friends and like you start being more more grateful about stuff like that. So let's say, yeah, I'm happy to be back in the room with you guys right now.
Yeah.
Rob said he noticed I was in a good mood the other day.
I did. I noticed you seem very happy.
Yeah, I am.
Very happy recently, which I love to see.
I'm having a lot of fun in the writer's room. I'm
Me too.
really
Yeah.
enjoying it.
Yeah, it has been fun.
It's a blast.
It has been fun.
We have now completed watching all our episodes of season 4.
Oh,
We are going to air, I think, the Nightman one last.
We'll air that one last, but we don't have a conversation about season 4 as a whole during that.
That's true. Yeah. What are your thoughts about season
How's
4?
everyone feeling? I'm thinking 4 was strong.
I like it, but to be honest, for my money, the show becomes, I think, what I love about it the most in season 5.
Yeah, I think we're about to kind of pick up on all the things that work and dump all the things that are like we don't really need. Like realizing, we don't need these aspects of storytelling to break one of these stories.
a lot of justification.
A lot of justification we don't need, and just be like, no, we're just like the characters are just doing things.
Yeah.
And the audience will go with it starting season 5.
Yeah. I think we just, it was the first year that I feel like we really dialed it in, and you know, sort of took what was working from all the first 4 seasons and combined it all into one show.
There's some pretty classic episodes. I've said this before in the podcast, but my favorite is The Gang Gives Frank an Intervention, and that is in season 5. So
That
I'm
is in
very
season
excited
5.
to see
Yeah.
it. Great episode, guys.
Tokyo Sky Pants.
We're hot. You look good.
All right, let's.
I've been saying you look.
I think that you look.
You been in movies?
Okay.
I feel like you're like all pure muscle. Yeah. Look at that.
Okay.
How
how are the Angels doing this season?
All right.
Shohei Ohtani. This is off season, but Ohio gozaimasu. What? I'm saying hello to the viewers.
Say welcome back to the yard. Why don't you say that?
How do you say welcome back? It's
What are you asking
Sumimasen.
Aiden for? Sumimasen? That's where you go to be naked and bathe.
He's on the white Yakuza.
If you guys ever see Ludwig in an airport, he loves this bit. Just go up to him and be like, are you
Don't
like
do
a
this.
famous
Don't do
guy?
this.
Do you think you could
Stop
be?
leaning forward. I can't see Ludwig.
Do you think you could be in a movie?
So you've been doing this to me the whole travel, and then he picked up on it. We were going through the immigration line coming to Japan, and it curls like 40 times
Dude,
over.
oh my God.
And every single time the curl would come, I'm just listening to music, I'm just walking, and he'd be like, dude, you could be in a movie. And then every time he'd like change it, he'd be like, damn, that's movie material.
You're like mostly muscle, yeah?
And I'm
you look
like,
strong. You look like a strong guy.
We're in the foreigner line just waiting to enter, and everyone's just like looking at me.
and then you'd like be far enough away, and they'd be like, "You look good."
Yeah, I had the sound like proof noise things on the AirPods, but I can see your mouth being like, movie.
I was telling Anthony, you look good is so perfect because it's endearing.
I like you.
I like you.
I like you, man.
It's so endearing and nice, but no one would ever actually say it.
Okay, well, you know what's crazy?
So he likes it, so you should do it if you see him.
So you do all this. Anyway, welcome back to the yard, episode 100 now from Tokyo, Japan.
Dude, it's not very scenic. There's not really a lot of things there.
Yeah,
like Tokyo.
I was loud. I was loud. She walked out.
He was telling me not to yell for so long, making it a
He was telling all of us.
I was trying to be hype.
Telling all of us equally. It wasn't
calling
singling you out.
We all need to be
us.
quiet.
We all need, and that means you too.
If you're watching at home, you need to be quieter.
If you're at home, you shut up right now.
But anyway, so we're in Japan. This is day one. We had one night here, and then last night I went to the bars, and first it's like basically a bar crawl, and we went to 3 different bars. All 3 places, someone said movie star.
No.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
I'm not even.
Dude, that is so funny.
Movie star. But like with an accent.
Yeah.
Because
you saw Subathon.
You're like,
that shit like a movie.
Are they just saying that, or they recognize that you're Ludwig?
No, God no. It's just because of the blonde hair, I think.
Oh yeah, you're just also handsome. Let's together quit denying it.
Dude, thinking of being a movie stars, I was in the hotel room last night, and the TV, very difficult to use. I was trying my hardest.
Trying to find ridiculous.
I was trying to find ridiculous. I was trying really hard.
Dude,
but
it's
everything's in Japanese.
It's a Japanese ridiculous.
Yeah. And it's a guy that looks like Rob Dyrdek.
And it's like a fax machine instead of a laptop that opens up.
Chanel Shinjuku.
She's got like the anime line.
Bro, our fucking taxi driver? Dude, hold on, really quick. He's like talking to us, and he knows very little English, but Aiden's making his best effort actually to like talk to this person, like small talk, which is really funny. He's like, "Oh, you guys from America?" Like, and he's like, "Yeah."
Super Smash Brothers.
He was like, and he was like,
figure out Ken-san.
he was like, "Are you from?" He's like, We said Los Angeles. He's like, "Oh, Los Angeles," and then he was like.
West Side. He was like West Side Love.
Yeah, dude, it was so sick.
And then he kept saying California Love.
Yeah, the bro was wearing like
Suwoo.
He was wearing a suit. He was wearing a suit and driving, and just throwing up the West Side. It was so sick.
Also, it was really funny because he just kept quietly saying "Let's go" to himself. So like if we weren't talking, we like didn't talk for like a few minutes. He would just nod in the front seat, go "Let's go."
So sick.
And he was just so pumped. He was like he didn't know a lot of English, but he managed to communicate a lot. And he's like, I've been to Hawaii, I've been to New York, I love America. Like it's like, and then he's like, but then he's like, but America also scary, also dangerous. And then he's like thinking about it for a while, and he's like, everyone has a gun.
While the 3 of us meet Aiden and Yan are like, yeah. Yeah, but you're in the hotel room.
I'm trying to find ridiculousness on the Japanese TV. Very difficult. And I'm watching this program about it's just a game show where Japanese people try to learn English, and it's very interesting.
Wow.
Because it's like what version of the word slow do you use? Like people learning at the point or whatever. And the 2 hosts are white people.
Okay, the same show, but it's American people learning Chinese.
Yo.
Right?
Yeah.
And Aiden's on it.
So I go out of like the TV guide, and I go to like the hotel's like UI, and there's all these categories, and the first category is movie. And I click in, and you have to buy the movies, but you have to go to a separate room in the hotel to buy a movie ticket, and come back with the code the ticket has on it for that movie. It's crazy. You can't just buy it in the room. And I was like, whatever. So I go and I see that the last tab is adult, and I was like, I've never tried opening one of these in the hotel room. Like, what's behind the curtain? And my girlfriend's in the bathroom, and so I'm like,
so it's party time.
So I'm like, let's take a peek. Let's take a peek. Let's see what's up. And in my head, the way that this would go,
Tree falls in the forest.
That's what I'm saying. In my head, the way this would go is like you click on it, and then it's like, you know, it shows a girl with like censored boobs or something, and it's like, do you want to pay for this, sir? And you go, yes, I do. And then it's like, well, here is your porn, sir. Yes.
Yeah.
But that's not what happened. I just went into it. And it's like, are you 18? Yes or no? And you go, I am. So I'm 18. I click yes, and it instantly is a girl sucking penis.
Oh, wow.
Frame one.
You don't have to pay?
Just sucking penis.
Wait,
no pay.
So is it just
free preview?
Is it just live?
It was no. It was a preview.
It's a live stream.
It was a preview of full product, but it was just playing.
It was just
Wait, was the
Kick.com.
penis censored?
Yes. Yes, but they're all censored.
They're
So
all-
it wasn't like I was getting.
Yeah, but you couldn't see like the lead up to why she started doing
It
that.
started right from the most replayed section.
You don't know.
I
You
assume.
don't know if they have a relationship before.
I'm not sure if they like have been talking or, but the volume was really high. So the
no.
volume is on fucking. And I'm like, oh, and I just like click back, and then my girlfriend comes out of the bathroom and she's like, "What are you watching?" And I'm like, "They're trying to learn English." There's even Japanese people English.
Isn't that crazy?
They're very good at it.
It's so weird.
It's a tonal language.
It's a tonal language. So that actually means, can I have tea, please?
He's telling anybody it's a total language.
Didn't we say that last episode? Like sucking dick is a tonal language or something?
I said pussy is a tonal
That's
language,
right,
but no
yeah.
one acknowledged.
No, I did. I did my mind. I did.
Anyway, you already, we haven't even been here 24 hours. They're talking about how you want to go
I
home.
wasn't. No, you're being a dick.
You said that.
It's what happened.
Because I'm not like saying I want to
You
like
know
I'm
what?
bitching and
To
complaining.
his credit, he said, "But I'm trying to shake it off."
Yeah, I was like,
Which is different than Italy.
I sheepishly admitted that I feel like I want to go home, and you're trying to fucking paint the.
I'm bringing it
You're
up.
trying to paint the media against
Hey,
me.
getting loud again.
Because what's new?
All of us are getting loud.
All of us together.
Keep going.
I'm not getting loud.
Hey, all of us. I didn't say
You're
you.
all screaming. I do not care.
Yeah, you're talking a lot. You're doing a lot of things in Japan you shouldn't be doing.
What?
Talking about not being able to go home is one of them. You keep saying that we're not going to make it back.
If anyone watched the Power Hour,
Dude, if anybody watched the Power Hour, you need to know that about 15 minutes got cut because we just kept talking. There was two sentences back to back where I'm like,
I had to tell Anthony, I'm like, so when we record with Trash Taste next week, they know the government. Like, you can't.
well, I can't tell Trash Taste to their face that I don't think I'm gonna make it back home.
Why are you not going to make it back?
You're gonna miss your flight. What's gonna stop you from making it?
This is such a date. I don't like this bit. I don't like this bit. I'm Eric Andre at the Grizzly Bear right now. I'm no longer a fan of this bit.
Okay.
Just remember that I can always make you feel
If
this
you're
way.
a Patreon member, you know why he won't make it home, and the rest of us will.
I'm not making it back.
Apparently, I'm not making it home either.
That's right.
I want
Well, you
to
guys
go
are the
home.
same.
You're
the
obviously
same.
not making it home.
You're not making it home. You don't have what it
We're throwing
takes.
you under the bus, under the Shinkansen.
That's right.
How was your?
talking to we're getting on the plane and we're not coming back.
I was like, I'm gonna have a blunderbuss because we're patriots.
You get out of some parties over Patreon.
Me and you are patriots.
Oh, your next taxi driver.
And we have tri-corner hats. And he's like, oh, blunderbuss, cool.
Dude,
okay.
someone threw themselves in front of a train here, and it delayed the bus. They delayed the train.
Like to kill themselves?
The Express.
No, to go to a party.
Yeah,
fucking kill themselves.
About this
And it only delayed the train by 30 minutes.
Yeah.
You were there?
Well, no, but like they
this
said
just
the reason.
They explained
They
it.
explained the
It was
reason.
your train though.
It was our train.
Okay. That is crazy.
Yeah, we still got, we still made really good time. It's so hard to be in a country where you really don't know the fucking language.
Dude,
at
it's
all.
stressful.
Yeah, it really is.
Because you said you were like, I kind of want to go back. I had that thought because I've so far been kind of like a Pokemon for Connor, and like
You've already hung out with Connor?
Yeah, we hung out last night this morning.
Okay.
But like, when we hang out, we'll go to a place, and like immediately when we walk into an establishment, like two white dudes, everyone's like, but then
Really?
Connor's like, Susan, and he does his Japanese thing. And then they're all like
portal bots look at you.
they instantly turn away. The AOE's turned on because he's just like he speaks very well.
Yeah.
So like sometimes they'll give us like an English menu, and then he'll be like, but I could call do. And then they'll be like, why did I give you this menu? Bitch?
Oh, gee, thank you for coming.
And so then I'm just this little Pokemon, and I just sit there, and I'm like, oishi.
Yeah, I mean, you have that when we're traveling around all together. It's like it's pretty rough. Not that it's like a complaint. It's beautiful here. It's like I am really enjoying just kind of existing in it. It's also like extremely like clean place, and like I don't know, it's so sick.
But it's stressful solo because I went without Connor this morning, and I just wanted to get a coffee.
Yeah, dude, it's fucking tough.
And I walked to the coffee place, and then I'm like, I don't have my mask, and everyone has like a mask, and they're walking in, they're getting their shit, and like the mask, it's a meme. It's a fucking meme here because they put on the mask to enter it, and they take it off.
Really?
You needed to walk through the door.
Oh, so you don't believe in masks?
They don't believe
Masks
in it.
are a meme. Ludwig Hagen.
We've got another Patriot.
Show him your blunderbuss. I got my blunderbuss on.
Nobody has any blunderbusses. We didn't pack any blunderbusses.
Then tell me why I'm not making it back.
I am making it back. I will be back.
Hey, no, you're not.
You're making it back in 3 containers.
You're making it back with a flag folded on your box. This Patriot's gonna have a real funeral.
They're gonna find my body at the port of Baltimore.
3 tombstones in Arlington.
McNulty's gonna unveil your coffin. He's like, this guy's a true patriot.
This guy, my body has a tricorner hat and my blunderbuss right beside it.
But it was stressful. It's stressful.
Yeah, it's interesting. We're gonna be here for so long. If you guys don't know, we're recording this actually pretty early. This is
it's day dot.
We haven't even been here for 24 hours.
It's the first day we've been here. Also, we recorded an ep back on Monday. The last ep you guys have seen. It was kind of a weird time skip. So the next time you see us, we'll be literally speaking fluent Japanese.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
Slime keeps saying that he can learn this language in 6 months flat. He keeps saying that.
I was like, just my arms folded on the train. I can learn Japanese in 6 months. Easy.
Dude, okay, do you have this thing? So, like, I don't know if you guys have done like the convenience stores and like you check out. Do you attempt to speak any Japanese? Because my gut doesn't want me to.
Oh my God, yes.
It's embarrassing.
Yes. Like,
you feel
I could
embarrassed.
Be like, arigato gozaimashita, and like try whatever I know, but instead I'm like, thanks, man, like appreciate that. And he's speaking fluent Japanese back, and I'm like, yeah, no change. Like,
yo, peace, one love.
Right? West Coast. West side.
White Yakuza.
But like, I feel like you should attempt, but even attempting takes like a level of vulnerability I'm not ready for.
I think I get PTSD because the way that they smile and laugh when I speak Japanese is like my parents at Thanksgiving dinner. They're like my grandparents when I'm like, they're like, oh, how's your little video game job doing? And I'm like, it's going good. They're like, oh, good for you.
Yeah.
I feel like they're doing that. And I'm like, stop laughing.
Well, that's how I felt in Italy, which is why I am 100% always against Italy.
You're an Italian.
I don't like this. Yeah, but they were pricks about it.
They were big for it.
I just want to be clear, I'm not on his team.
They were like a
know it
John
works like that
Hughes
currently, but-
bully movie.
You eat this morning? You eat good food this morning?
Yeah.
Dude, we had a bomb breakfast. Aiden took us to a fucking low-key spot.
Is it shit?
Shut
Hey, where'd you go?
Aiden took us to the most
Where'd you go?
low-key.
So mad.
That sounds hype.
Yeah, just like a
I'm so
not gonna-
sad.
you're not gonna
I
find
hate
it if
being
you
part
search
of
Google.
it. I hate
You're
being
not gonna
fucking
find
part
it
of
if you search
it.
Google.
Sure.
But so like, have you heard of Hotel Buffet?
Hotel buffet.
I don't know how to say it. Yeah.
He's butchering.
It was called,
Yeah, I'm butchering
it was called
but
Suzu Cafe, bro.
Hotel Buffet. Yeah, it was actually pretty bomb. So they had like little sausages.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
little weenies.
Scrambled eggs, American style too. So I felt a little bit.
Yeah, I felt
that's
that.
yummy.
The grilled mackerel
How'd
was
you
fire.
find it?
Grilled mackerel was
Yeah.
fire.
Yeah,
Yeah, just
so-
everybody's nodding.
So
Everybody's nodding. Yeah,
On the
you're
grilled
nodding.
mackerel?
Yes. Grilled mackerel was fire.
Yeah, that's
Stand
what
by
we
that.
had this morning.
Yeah, Connor took me to a spot. I'm his Pokemon. I just
You're fucking. We get it, bro. He's your best friend that you've ever
His
had.
name's Sea Dog. He's actually fluent. If you guys don't know. But I did find a coffee place that's close by, and the lady like fluent in English, and so I was having fun conversing with her because I could just speak. I was just like, yeah, I'm from like LA, grew up in New Hampshire.
Was she Japanese?
She was
or-
Japanese,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
She's like born and raised in Japan, but she's like been to America a good chunk, and she owns like her coffee place.
That's cool.
And I was having like a good time conversing with a human, and so I ordered an espresso, like a single. And then like I finished it because it's espresso, and then I'm like, you know what? I'll have another one, just because I wanted to keep talking. Because I'm lonely. because I'm lonely. And so she's like, and I was like, I should have ordered a double. But then she misunderstood and she gave me a double. I'm fucked on caffeine right now. I'm fucked on caffeine.
Today?
That was today.
Yeah.
I have a lot of caffeine in my
Start
body.
your day off with a triple.
Right now we're in like a pretty residential place. It's like
Yeah.
What was I gonna say? This house.
Yeah, porn was filmed at this
has
house.
been porn filmed at this establishment.
We are in a location.
We're in the rafters with some legends.
Yeah, we're in a location where loads have been busted. You know,
This is where the load was busted.
The first load.
Yeah, so there's a lot of cum around here, just like anywhere.
Yeah,
that's what's beautiful
true.
about Nippon is that everyone comes.
Everyone does come
You know
here.
what I'm
They are
saying?
horny. I see a lot of Tanga shops walking around.
What is
that?
Tanga?
That's the
Tanga's
lizard.
It's
lizard
the,
career.
it's the
girl from Boy Meets
jerk
World.
off toy.
What?
Oh.
Are you talking about like a
the
flashlight?
Yeah. It's not. It's like a fleshlight, but it's like mass manufactured. It's called a Tanga, and it looks
Is
like
that a brand name? Is it like Band-Aid?
Yeah, it's like Kleenex.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, that's the same thing with
No, it's funny, this
fleshlight
one's
and
actually not
pocket
a
pussy.
Tanga.
Those
Right.
are all the same thing.
Yeah, so they got Tanga, but they just have them like out, and it's just the sign. It's
Isn't
just like
the
Tanga
ratio here of men to women like crazy high for men?
I think it's equal.
No,
like every other society.
What does that mean?
You're talking
when
about-
you say
There
that.
are a lot
You're
more
talking about
men
China.
here.
You're talking about China.
Oh, I thought it was also Japan.
No, because China had the one child policy for a long time, and people wanted sons, so they would
make
had-
it so they only
they
had
would
sons.
abort their daughters, and this created a disproportionate population of men. This is no longer a problem, but it has created
So it's equal. It's equal here.
Yeah,
it's to answer your question. It's pretty equal here.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Thanks, Aiden. By the way, I appreciate that info.
Well, it's just
Comedy
he's
podcast,
conflating.
actually.
Oh
so-
yeah, I get it for sure. I get it. Yeah.
Yeah, I was saying that me and Aiden want to become salarymen.
Yeah.
We're dead set.
You don't want that.
I want to be.
We want to be
No, I was thinking
salarymen.
about it. I want to be sad.
Me and Aiden.
You already are sad. You've cried on this pod.
We want to work
You've been
for.
sad.
That's
Shut up.
different,
Shut
though.
the fuck up. We want to work for a corporation, 60 hours a week, sing
What
karaoke.
inspired this
and
is
get fucking
Slime saw the
drunk
guy
every night.
at Customs just stamping papers and hating his life.
Yeah.
And he was like, I want that to be
I don't
me.
know
but
what-
like really
there,
killing
was,
his job.
there was a romantic element to the salaryman that I saw, and I'm like,
Yeah.
What's the romantic part? That you get to drink after?
Yeah.
It's staring bold-faced capitalism in the face
And saying yes.
and
Being a
saying,
cog.
I have nothing.
it's like
I
my-
cannot thwart
My
you.
meaning is to be the cog.
I want to be a
cog?
cog.
The cog.
The cog.
And you
like
can do it
being a
anywhere.
cog.
You could be a salaryman anywhere.
Well,
It's
no,
a
I want to
spirit.
be a salaryman here.
What I've recognized is like, and this is day dot take, so bear that in mind. But it's like, there's a lot of like uniformity to Japan in terms of like how people walk around, how people like, you know, go to a shop. Everyone does like the hand sanitizer thing. Like there's a lot of customs that everybody follows, and but like I think where everyone finds their individuality is like the content they consume. I don't know if you've seen it, but there's like a bunch of like random niche like little groups of people I've passed by. Like I've there's like this rock concert. There's like 10 people outside. They're cheering super hard for this guy.
It was like a hardcore show?
No, there's like a super small one. And
On
then
the
there's like,
street?
Yeah, just on the street. And then there's like this line outside for like this anime thing. And then I saw a bunch of train watchers, and it feels like that's where everyone finds their hobbies.
Do you
in
think
their
there's like a
tribes.
hardcore like Italian scene here?
There probably is.
No, but like not of Italians.
People who are into
Yeah, but
Italians.
Japanese people who are into Italy.
I watched like a really like this old Vice documentary about this like Chicano subculture within Japan.
It's huge.
Really?
Yeah, where people in Japan will like dress and adopt mannerisms of like Latino communities in LA and like race in like mod cars and shit.
Yeah.
It's yeah, I don't know.
I feel like in America, like the things that people consume for content is like very large, and a lot of people consume the same things. And then like the jobs is where you find a lot of your individuality. It's like where you just like, this is what I do for work. That's like the first thing people say.
Yeah.
And then here, I guess, because everyone's salarymen, it's like your hobby which defines you. It's
So
like
you saw 10 people watching a guy play guitar, and you formed this whole idea.
Well,
yeah. This is my idea.
Before I let this, I was gonna say before I let this spiral, have you confirmed this with any Japanese
Have you
person
talked to
or
C-Dog?
person?
Yeah,
that's
no, I
lives-
talked to
that
my taxi
lives here?
driver.
Yeah,
And I said, Rigato. It's that kind of sealed it for me.
yeah. No, you're probably right.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense to me.
Anyway, you were talking about going home. or something.
Well, yeah,
I don't know.
30 minutes ago.
Get the fuck back home, bro.
Bro, it's hard. It's hard speaking.
This place doesn't want you.
Japan?
That's right.
I think you're right. And Connor, I know because we were doing the bar crawl thing, right? And it's like a cute little alley. There's a bunch of bars.
You went to Golden Guy.
Golden Guy, yeah. And then we're walking through, and sometimes we walk into a place, and they're like, nah. That happened a couple times.
Wait, what?
We would go to walk in, they'd be like, we're closed. We're just so closed right
People
now.
just extremely enjoying their time in an open bar.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
they're-
There'd be like 3 people at the seats, and be like, dude, it's 11.
Yeah, they just won't serve foreigners sometimes.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, this happened to me. This happened to me at a Japanese restaurant in London once. It was like a place. It was a Japanese restaurant. Only Japanese people in the restaurant. Like it was clearly like some sort of like local spot for Japanese immigrants in London.
Yeah.
And me and my friend who's Chinese tried to go to the restaurant, and we came like 10 minutes before closing.
Level overall than an average player who can be defeated fairly easily if you locate your duck button and then left through Deathwing's lair. The reason I like to go this way is that you pass by a hidden room in the floor that contains a heart refresh. This is a required item to perform the next glitch, and so taking this path is an easy way to pick one up along your way if you don't already have one. Continuing forward, you will fly up a long vertical shaft and then climb up and out of the area to reach the inverted giant clock room, which is ultimately our goal, but without the 5 relics, the door is locked and it's impossible to reach Dracula normally. If we take a look at the map, you can see that the save room lies on the opposite. But yeah, we can use a glitch to skip all 5 of these items and go to the inverted castle right now. Of 1,275,000 gold, which is more than max cash. With only performing one instance of the glitch, you can already afford everything the librarian sells, with the Jewel of Open and Duplicator being the most helpful. But if you're only interested in the bare minimum needed to finish the game, nothing from the librarian is technical. We can just jump over it. First, break this brick in the wall to reveal the chamber. Make sure to save the game here, because if you mess up the trick, you might have to reload the game to try again. The exploit we're about to use is known as the reverse shift line. It involves desyncing Alucard from who can be defeated fairly easily if you locate your duck. Though Dracula is supposed to be revived from the 5 relics of Vlad, the funny thing about game logic is that it really couldn't care less about lore. Mechanically speaking, Dracula is already there waiting for us in his boss room at the center of the map, if we could clip through the inverted castle, period. Of course, we do still have to get to the castle center. To do that, the route I like to take is to the right, through the antechapel,
Regeneration! No medicine left!
And we were just trying to
That's
see.
why he got kicked
no,
out,
hold on. And we got.
Oh, he did it. He did the thing.
And hold on. And we got kicked out, or not kicked out. We were told like we're closed. Can't come in.
So we're 10 minutes closed.
Like,
You
okay,
start
that totally
yelling
makes
at
sense.
us.
That totally makes sense. But the place is supposed to be really good. So we come back the next night,
Okay.
and it's an hour and a half before close.
Okay.
And we're like, hey, great. They told us the closing time last night. We know we're here at the right time, and they still weren't letting us in.
Wow.
And then we were like, but you told us this is when you close.
And they're like, we lied.
And they caved. They caved.
They let you in?
They were like, yeah, but only because we like said something about it. They would try to get us to leave the same way.
It's so funny to keep crying.
Yeah. Also,
well, because
wouldn't you just want to go somewhere
They
else?
put-
like
they
split
put
your
some-
food
It's
for
supposed to
hot
be good.
bean in your
and
latte.
the first night, it's like we don't get the vibe that like we're being told no because of like that were not
No,
Japanese.
well, we get it, but what we're saying is that you brought up that they were like, yeah, you can't come in here, and you're like, well, that doesn't make sense because you told us when to come back.
I'll be back tomorrow.
And then they said okay, and then you still went in.
Aiden would have camped out 4 months if he had to.
It's like the fact that they don't want you there. You were like, well, I'll still eat.
That makes
here.
the food taste sweeter.
That's the funny part to me and Nick. That's what we're saying.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
Stand with Eamon.
Look, in Japan, I get it. You know, you don't want white people in your bar. I get it.
Okay, but then here's the perverse thing.
I don't want
because
white people in my
they didn't
bar
want
either.
white people in the bar. They were being racist.
Okay.
All right, because Connor speaks Japanese,
Are
and
you-
I do too.
So wait, do you think Connor's a patriot?
Okay, so
Will he join
well,
us?
here's what Connor's doing, because then there's like maybe fucking 100 bars, and so then he'd like peep in, and then if he saw foreign, he'd be like, nah, I can't come here. And I was like, why not?
What?
He's like, it's all foreigners.
Wow.
I'm like, but we're foreigners. He's like, nah, it's just a bad vibe.
I just thought of a genius video. It's Ludwig, and it's a white guy speaks fluent Japanese to Japanese people, and it's like him and the person like shocked. But it's just him fucking butchering Japanese everywhere he goes.
That's kind of what like
Japanese.
Xiao Ma videos are actually like lately, where he'll like say he's learned a language in like 10 days.
Oh my
and
God,
he'll
yeah.
just repeat like 3 different like textbook lines to some person that works in a restaurant. Because he's actually fluent in Chinese, and that's where like his channel and his videos got started. So he can actually like he's like very, very well spoken in this one language, and that's how he hit it off. But he's like branched out into like he'll just pick like some niche language for some random country, and he'll go find a restaurant associated with it in New York and say like hit him with the hey how are yous.
Yeah,
he's like make a 10-minute YouTube video out of it.
He's on the menu and he's like speaking English. He's like, oh wow, a lot of good food. And then in the language, he's like, one of these. And then like I think just the effort, they're like, wow, good job.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, I did it again. I've done it again. Son of a bitch. Is there something I can't learn?
That is literally you, by the way.
No.
Also, someone
I went
translated.
to a nice restaurant and it was oishikaku des.
Yeah, it sounds
Dude,
like
you
it
can't
was
say
that.
What? Oishikaku.
Yes, on the last episode, someone was like, "Okay, I translated what Ludwig said. It's fork. I want."
That's what I want. The chopsticks are hard to
That's not
hold.
what you said though. You said fork. You asked where the fork
I said
was,
where, I
right?
think,
You said
yeah.
You said where is the
maybe they're
fork?
So
wrong,
they're
too.
wrong because I'm fluent.
You know what, dude? You know what's really funny? What I was playing Dota with my friend Max from way back, who I met on Dota, and he spent time in Japan, and we're playing Dota, and someone in the team on the other team speaks Japanese or types something in Japanese against us, and he's like, "Oh shit, I can tango with this guy." And so he starts typing Japanese back, and then the guy responds, "Did you use a translator for that?" And Max was like, "Oh fuck!" Like he got me. So it's like basically he didn't have the riz to use his actual Japanese he's learned, and also he's a white guy, and also the guy clocked that he used a translator, which was insanely embarrassing.
It's really funny. It's
and
like
we lost the game.
I can tango with this guy, then use a translator.
Yeah.
It's like we can all tango with this guy.
Right. Yeah.
But
Dude,
I
apparently
also
used
can
half
open
of
that
it.
webpage.
That happened like a similar I can tango with this guy moment. We were playing college basketball intramural team. We were shit. One of the worst teams around.
I know.
You don't. We went over.
Yep.
Breslin squad would dunk on us every time. We actually did not because the intramural team was
Breslin did
Breslin
ball.
was 6'8".
Breslin did.
the problem
That's
is
the crazy shit.
Breslin was
the tripod was so
6'8".
impressive.
Breslin was hung too.
he did need an extra large coffin. Well, if it had like a hole
it
for
was
his cock at the top.
expensive.
I'm just imagining that one
Had an exhaust
Breslin lore page on the Reddit getting edited. Like every time we drop a piece of Breslin lore,
Breslin was 6'8" question mark. Maybe 6'2".
No, he was 6'8" because we went to Cancun that one time for spring break, and he had to hunch over on the plane.
Then he had the surgery and he went down to 6'4". Really sad.
Yeah, they chopped off his
when they
ankle.
cut off his
He lost his shins in a machine gun.
a machine gun con.
He's a patriot.
Breslin, if anything, was a patriot, and he would have loved it here.
He wouldn't have made it back.
He wouldn't have. He wouldn't have. He could have got through doors here. Anyway,
fork him this.
when we get home, we're gonna get asked so many questions.
From who?
Fucking border. Dude.
Immigration? What? They're gonna say, "Hey, how'd you do, gentlemen? Mission accomplished."
Coming back back into the LAX customs line, and you walk up to hand him your passport, and he just
Yeah, dude, imagine the guy who stamps us back into the country. Salute.
Past Medusa. Lies the shield rod, an item that has different effects based on what shield Alucard currently has. You might have to reload the game to try again. The exploit we're about to use is known as the reverse shift line. It involves desyncing Alucard from the camera that follows him by 1 pixel, so that the edges of rooms overflow and he's able to trigger the transition borders of multiple rooms at the same time while walking between them. Specifically, the pixel we want to manipulate is this last one on the left edge. Because the Black Marble Gallery uses tiled squares as part of its floor design, this specific column of pixels is really easy to see, so just keep your eye here. Now we need to identify the farthest point right that Alucard can travel without the camera scrolling and cutting off this leftmost pixel, which ends up with him being about here. Now, we need to move Alucard 1 pixel or more to the right without allowing the camera to scroll. There are a few ways to do this, but one of the easiest relates to the heart refresh that we picked up earlier. The heart refresh is a rare single-use item that restores up to 500 hearts back to Alucard's counter so that he can use more sub-weapons. But we don't really care about that. What matters for us is that the heart refresh also has a long, over-the-top activation animation that pauses everything in-game until it completes. If you press right and activate a heart refresh at the same time, Alucard will move forward for exactly 1 frame, but the item animation will prevent the movement of the camera, desyncing it from Alucard. The timing of the heart refresh is a bit precise, but if you purchase the duplicator from the librarian with the infinite money glitch, you can duplicate your heart refresh and try as many times as you like without having to reset. Once you hit the correct timing and see Alucard shift forward without losing that ever so important left edge pixel, hold down the backward dash button so that it occurs on the first possible frame after the end of the heart refresh animation, putting you well within the safe zone in which the camera will not scroll, and ensuring that the desynchronization remains true. Now have Alucard pass through the screen transition to the left, which causes him to mistakenly appear on the left side of the following screen instead of the right. This in turn triggers that screen's transition to the next room, meaning that an entire room gets skipped. This would be fine if the room beyond this point were part of Dracula's chamber, but as we've established already, there's an empty space between the two. So when Alucard transitions into this out-of-bounds location, he immediately falls through the ceiling and into the room below, which would accomplish nothing. To prevent this, we have to transform into a bat on the first possible frame after the out-of-bounds warp, catching Alucard as he falls and placing him here on the vertical line between the two screens, something that's admittedly easier said than done. If you transform 1 frame too early, you will appear as a bat beneath the ceiling well within bounds, and if you transform 1 frame too late, you won't transform at all and Alucard will fall straight through. So expect this to take a few tries. Once we manage to hit the proper frame, and end up stuck above the ceiling, we still aren't out of the woods yet. If you try to move normally as the bat, the game will eventually eject you out of the ceiling before we make it far enough to the left to clip back in bounds. To make it far enough left to actually clip inside Dracula's chamber, you'll need to use a technique called the wing smash. This is an intended mechanic that can only be performed while in bat form and doesn't require any other items. First, hold down jump, then quickly press up, diagonal up right, right, diagonal down right, down, diagonal down left, left, and then release jump. This will cause Alucard to rocket forward at top speed while invincible and dealing damage to enemies, though it doesn't last very long. One wing smash doesn't take us far enough to clip into Dracula's chamber, but thankfully, this move can be chained together over and over to maintain the speed for as long as necessary, provided that you have enough MP and don't mess up the admittedly complicated inputs. Because the window to execute all these inputs is so short, this can be the most difficult part of the glitch for a new player. But once you manage to chain at least 5, Alucard will make it far enough left that he ends up on the border between the save room that is part of Dracula's inner chamber and the hallway that leads to the Black Marble Gallery, and this will happen, as the game tries to decide which of the 2 rooms Alucard should be pushed into. In order to escape this loading and unloading loop, hold left, and eventually, Alucard will pop back in bounds within the inner castle without collecting a single Relic of Vlad, better known as Relic Skip. All that remains is the boss battle with the Dark Priest and the battle that immediately follows it with Dracula. Save the game here, and then take the elevator up into the final room of the game. We are still severely underpowered at this point, and are about to take on the hardest boss in the game. But luckily, we picked up something earlier in preparation for this moment, the Shield Rod.
Loots us and we don't know why. And we're like,
you boys did a great job on there.
he gives us back our fucking Glock that we had to leave.
Your next mission's in Korea. So
God, we have such a bad fucking reputation as a country. When we, like as Americans, it is we're disgusting.
Our driver, like, clearly he could understand more than what he could speak. I mean, which makes sense. But it was amazing that the only full sentence he could make out was "Everybody has a gun."
Yeah,
We got guns.
Sorry. Okay, you and Breslin
Play intramural basketball. Well, he was on a different team. My team sucked. And then one.
This is To prevent this, we have to transform into a bat on the first possible frame after the out-of-bounds warp, catching Alucard as he
One time, like, it still got, like, it got heated just because we were against a guy who, like, lived on the same floor of us, who was kind of a doucher. He stole alcohol once. And Michael's, like, really, this guy named Michael who was on my team, he's getting, like, in his face. He's getting, they're like,
Michael Barbaro.
Yeah, he was young back then. He was young. He was going back to ASU.
Michael B. I don't like how you're being an asshole on the court. Okay?
And so they're beefing the whole time, and then the game ends, and, like, they win, and the guy talks, like, a lot of shit. And so he goes, if you fucking keep this up, I'm not messing around. He's like, what are you gonna do? And he goes, I'm gonna get Avery, who's our big, strong friend, to beat you up. And then he said it with full earnesty.
I'm gonna get that fucking guy over there.
And then he got laughed out of the building.
No.
Yeah, it was tough. It was tough.
You can't be calling out
And we
Avery.
never won one. We never won a game.
Imagine you're fucking and she
And I
calls
got
out
injured.
Avery. That's
And Presley fucked my girl.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what he did.
That's what he did.
That was his shit, bro.
It was weird of him.
It was a breach of trust in my friendship with Presley.
It was tough.
If it was anybody but Presley, you know,
It still hurt. I let him slide because he's Presley, but
That's when I knew what I had to do to him.
rest in peace. Don't regret it. Don't regret it.
Why did we kill Breslin?
They never did open that
Breslin was
investigation.
my best friend. That's why I had to take him down.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
You know what I like also, and I was thinking about, I like the idea of bowing. I know it sounds fucking stupid, but it's like just the idea that, like, I don't know, the gesture is so nice. I don't know.
Are you trying to get pussy right now?
You're a loser, bro.
What are you doing?
What is this?
I be honest on the podcast one fucking time. Here's what happens.
I just think being polite is like really cool.
No, just
I
like
think
I
the
wish
gesture is
I wish
like-
we did it
it's more
in
sweet.
in the States.
No, you're right. It's based.
I just feel, sometimes I get up so an old lady can take my seat. It's like,
What the fuck are you talking about?
It's just about manners and respect, I guess.
into being
I like how you throw away the trash at home.
I'm getting
That's what I'm
roasted.
saying. It's like you hold on to it because you
This is
don't
the
want
worst
to.
day of my life.
No, you're right, man. You're right. I actually don't like how polite everyone is.
You don't?
I don't.
I think it's nice.
They're too polite.
No,
They don't give a shit. Deep down, they don't care.
You think they don't care?
It's cultural politeness. They're not like.
I think if you're so.
Isn't that in America too? Like Aiden doesn't give a fuck about the driver he's talking to. He just does
I do.
it.
No,
you
he
don't.
actually
You
does.
literally don't.
I do.
No, you don't. If they got shot in the head as soon as you left the Uber, you would not care.
He would walk away. He'd say, "Mission accomplished."
I'm talking about in America. I'm talking about in America.
Oh, you don't like the joke? Think this? No, because one day.
You know what you should do then? Aiden, the next time you get in an Uber, when we go to like fucking, I don't know, West Hollywood or something,
Yeah.
we get in the Uber and you tell the Uber driver after talking to them for the whole fucking however long ride,
Yeah.
you say, if you were shot and killed immediately after I left this car, I would be sad. I would be sad.
That's what you think that would affirm
I
my
want to be on
position.
your team so bad.
Yeah, you ruined
I really
it.
do. But
I ruined it?
Yeah, you ruined it for
No,
sure.
wait, let's rewind. Let's go back. Let's go back to where you guys agree
Okay,
with
we
me
can
for
get
a
more
second.
Okay, all right, one more chance.
Aiden, you fucking, you're,
you crud monster. You
yeah,
fucking-
yes.
You're the worst. Yeah, I'm on board now.
Real critter over here.
I helped my Airbnb host commit a crime.
What'd you do?
I helped
You helped him
commit a-
cook crap?
I helped him cook. Yeah, he was like, I really want crack desk.
I heard Americans know how to cook a really good crack.
Yeah, you're right.
It's like, yeah.
You're right, Airbnb son.
We do have Migos.
You shouldn't make it home. You shouldn't make it home. You should be here. I don't know where you should be.
Well, the crime was because they have a law in Japan where you can only rent out your property for half the year. You can't rent it out for the whole year. It's just,
Okay.
I think, because they want like people to live in it and they don't want like landlords. I don't know. Maybe that's it. And so he's like, I want to get around these rules. So I'm just going to change your stay to like 2 days.
Oh.
And I still pay the 17,
You're just
18
on the
whatever day
low,
amount,
though.
but I'm on the low.
Damn, you
And
leak,
then-
you leak like that?
Well, I'm not saying the place I'm at.
It's not hard to find.
He's gonna.
Okay, well now you're like
You're gonna
putting in
put this
people's
man-
mind.
You're gonna put this
Following your
man
speaking
behind
card.
We
bars.
were
bro.
fine until
You
you
put this
guys
man
started
behind
being
bars.
weird about
I
it.
want to put everyone you've ever associated with behind bars.
I want to turn you out
In Japan?
What, you guys
In
just battling?
Roppongi?
in Roppongi.
Yeah, it's a battle rap.
Take it away! Take it away, gentlemen! I did it!
Hey,
I brought
you
it.
know what brings in a secure internet connection? NordVPN protects your online activity from things like phishing and password attacks, DDoS and ransomware.
Look at me. While you're watching this, I'm currently in Japan, in Tokyo. But perhaps I'm in Chiba on
And
the
I'm
way
Rob Deerdeck.
from the airport. And you know what? The thing about being in Japan is I can't watch all my favorite shows, Aiden.
Wow.
Wait, love it. Your computer's in America that has Nord on it. How are you going to use
And
it when
it's a
you're in Japan?
giant computer that you stand
How are you
on.
going to use it?
I can use it with NordVPN because I can switch my region to the States.
Wait, Steelo, rewind.
How
that
else
shit.
am I supposed to watch the
He's
Super Bowl?
rewinding you. Shut up.
Rewinding you.
Okay, you say the exact same thing again. How am I supposed to?
How am I supposed to watch all my shows?
Good question, laptop. Well, I think that you should use nordvpn.com/theyard.
What is that?
God, it's
Because it works on 6 devices. Is what I was trying to get you to say.
Hey, if you figured out what NordVPN does by now, that's amazing because this is fucking incoherent. Why don't we go to the next slide, Zipper?
Okay. Look. NordVPN is good for 3 main reasons. 1, it's fast, reliable connection. Okay, that is a VPN. So 2, it's you on region locked content. So you
Maybe you're in Japan. You can't stream ridiculousness.
Yeah, you're trying to
in
watch
Japan
ridiculousness from
because
the Tokyo Sky
It's an
Train.
American licensed show.
That's right.
But
You're trying to watch it in
you
Monkey
can
Mountain.
connect to an American
And you're not
server
in a hotel.
as if you were in the U.S. to watch
And
ridiculousness.
then reason 3 is because maybe you're on a public network or you don't trust your ISP. With Nord, only they don't see that where you're going.
You want You want to check your bank account maybe while you're at Starbucks.
Yeah.
You don't want
that.
a little hacker.
There could be slime. He's a little hacker.
I'm a little guy behind you,
Anyway,
and I'll steal you.
NordVPN.com/theyard. 30-day risk-free. NordVPN.com/theyard, or click the link in the description. You get a 2-year plan with 1 month free. Okay, that's it.
Guys, NordVPN.com/theyard.
How is Roppongi?
It's really cool.
I heard it's the American part.
I don't know. I have no frame of reference.
The American part.
Yeah.
Really?
There's a lot.
I haven't noticed.
Like in what way?
I've just heard.
There are a lot of foreigners there.
Oh, definitely. I've noticed that.
And there's a lot of American fast food chains in the area.
I will say we emerge from the subway, from the train, the subterranean place, and then
the Eat Fresh headquarters.
Yeah,
The subway.
We took like 3 trains and we finally emerged like onto the street. And the first thing I see is literally a giant Wendy's sign.
There you go. Yeah, they try to make it feel like at home. So they have like a lot of parking lots. They have a Wendy's, a Subway.
I was like, whoa, we made it, Tokyo.
We're finally here.
7-Eleven is just so good. It's so tight.
You're 7-Eleven pilled?
Yeah.
I'm Lawson's pilled.
He's just naming
Lawson's?
a different brand.
Lawson's.
Well, you pick your convenience.
Go to the one that's fucking close.
No. I walk from my Lawson's.
Yeah.
I got a family.
You're walking regardless.
What drink did you get? With the drink that you have down there? That you said we need
What is
to
your drink?
ask
Oh,
about?
Pocari Sweat?
So they have a drink that is probably the least appetizing drink name I could ever.
Well, I would have you know Pocari Sweat is a healthy beverage that smoothly supplies the lost water and electrolytes during perspiration.
I don't want them to smoothly supply me anything.
It's as if you're drinking someone else's sweat.
It's close to that of human body fluid, so you're right.
That is great. It does say that.
It has
That is
appropriate
crazy.
density in electrolytes close to that of human body
Does
fluid.
it taste sweet like you?
This is your nectar.
I don't like Pocari personally.
You're gonna like this.
I want to taste.
You're gonna like
I want to
this.
taste the nectar.
I think
it
it's
is a very
way better than
popular
Gatorade.
drink.
It's way better than Gatorade.
Yeah.
Because Gatorade's
It's
like
good.
syrup sweet, little sweet.
Ooh, it's got a little bit of
Your coffee, is it so warm?
It's absolutely not warm. It's fucking freezing in this room.
It is cold here.
I mean, yeah, you can, but
Honestly, my dream might be dead.
What's your dream?
Moped dream?
because it's
really?
cold.
Dude, it's gonna be so bad riding.
Do you
It's
not have
gonna be
anything bigger
miserable.
than that?
Yeah, why don't you
I'm gonna buy
buy
stuff.
some
I'm gonna buy
shit?
stuff. I went to do it today and I got nervous because I didn't have my mask. I walked an hour to go to a clothes store.
that's also
and then I realized I
insane.
didn't have my mask. So then I walked my ass home and then I had to come to this shit.
Yeah,
That's all I did today.
you're in a fucking Asian country and you're walking around without a mask.
Yeah,
that's
forgot
insane.
it. I forgot my mask.
matter
I
with
forgot it.
Yeah,
I
you
forgot
forget
it.
a lot of shit.
You
I'm
name
tired
one
of
thing.
you.
Name one thing I forgot.
My birthday,
April 30th.
the big shell incident for Metal Gear at the same day. You got it.
Okay, right, you were saying like words that I didn't know. That game is bad.
Metal Gear?
Shut
Yeah,
up,
it's
bro.
just another story about capitalism.
They all are.
Why do you want to be a salaryman and not just work at like Best Buy in America? It's the same thing,
Because
right?
no, it is not the
it's
same
it's actually
thing.
the same. I kind
is.
of, I
It
do,
is.
I
What?
kind of do.
Wait,
Part of me wants
hold
to.
on.
Okay,
Now, hold
that
on.
was out of left field. I didn't
Let's
expect
look
him
at.
to.
Hold on. Let's look at the